If you've been following our coverage, you probably know February is American Heart Month. We are focusing a great deal on learning CPR, a life-saving skill. Keith Collett can tell you that. Never a single heart problem or indication of one until he collapsed. And that's when his wife, Brit, went to work.
January 20th, 2019, Keith and Brit Collett were visiting friends.
And this is how the story was told to me, of course, but I'm sitting on the couch. I stand up, I say, I think I'm gonna pass out, and I drop back onto the couch.
Yeah, this story comes to Keith secondhand, which is weird because he's at the very center of the story. But just know that if your heart stops, you may not remember it. Now, Brit was an aquatic supervisor, trained for this kind of thing, but when it's so very real, and it's your husband, it's not quite automatic.
She called her dad, who is a captain of Cleveland Fire in Cleveland, Ohio. And he, of course, dealt with that every single day. And so he calmed her down, reminded her of what to do. She started CPR really quickly.
We obviously knew something was terribly wrong. I noticed that Keith's face was starting to turn blue and then just compressed until the paramedics arrived. I made eye contact with the first one. He said, "I can take over." And I screamed, "Please help him."
You'd like to think that once you get to the hospital, everything is going to be fine. But Keith and Brit were facing some very nasty math. The statistics all pointed toward disaster.
90% of the people who go through that don't live. And of the 10% that do live, only 1% survive with no brain damage. So the outlook was really dire at that
Bleak,
point.
yeah.
And I just remember being like, is Keith ever gonna walk back into this house again? Like, is he ever gonna be here?
He is, every day, because all those chest compressions, and no doubt a little luck, put Keith in that smallest percentile.
Your diagnosis at this point is just idiopathic. We have no idea why this happened to you.
3 months of rehab did not come with an answer. The best they could do was implant an internal defibrillator, which was fortunate because it happened a few years later, and no CPR was needed that time. Today, Brit and Keith and their 2 children are a family that is whole. Keith and Brit Collett end up being a different kind of lesson on heart health.
A lot of people can come into this with the idea of, you need to eat healthy, you should exercise more,
Right.
you need to, have an annual physical. Yours is really, you need to be around people who know how to deal with this in an emergency, right?
No, 100%, yeah. Yeah, if my wife wouldn't have known what to do and she wouldn't have started first aid CPR when she started it, I would not be sitting here with you today.
Yeah. Surviving a near-death experience is a pretty complicated thing, and Keith and Brit have spent a lot of time at their home in Adrian thinking about what their lives should be. Well, part of it is advocating for CPR training. You can learn hands-only CPR on Monday. Our Go For It CPR Lifesavers kicks off at 11 a.m. at the Northwest Activity Center in Detroit. Anyone can attend. You can sign up in advance at clickondetroit.com. You can scan the QR code that you see on the lower right-hand portion of your screen, but walk-ins are welcome as well. It gets underway at 11 a.m. and will go on until 7 p.m. on Monday. We would love to see you there.